At a ceremony held at State House, President Hakainde Hichilema reaffirmed his government's zero-tolerance stance on corruption, particularly in the misuse of public resources. The president said acts of theft, especially in the health sector, are unacceptable and directly undermine Zambia's progress. He was speaking during the swearing-in ceremony of permanent secretaries, the Deputy Auditor General, and Zambia's new Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary. President Hichilema urged the new office bearers to maintain integrity, uphold confidentiality, and serve the public diligently.
I must tell you that it's not a joyride to serve in this government. So you could have decided to turn the offer down, but you accepted the offer, so to say. So we commend you for that. And with that comes responsibility. I hope you all understand that. Accepting to serve the people of Zambia in the roles that you have been sworn in today comes with responsibility. It doesn't just come as a matter of symbolism. No, totally different. I'm working hard. We're working very hard as a team to alter positively the culture in the public sector, to focus on serving the people, not ourselves. When we serve the people, our own interests will be taken care of. That's how it works. But we have seen some people in the public sector who focus on serving their interests first. So their interests become primary. The interests of the 20 million Zambians become secondary. Icona. It doesn't work like that.
He particularly tasked newly appointed Deputy Auditor General Stella Nyondo with ensuring timely audits to improve public fund management.
So, looking after the children in school, 2 million of them have gone back to school since the free education policy was introduced by this government. How did we fund that? Treasury income from the growth of the economy. Prudence, utilizing resources only when we need them to apply them. It's a very simple story. I'm not sure why citizens find this as a complicated story. With treasury income, we'll look after the old. Social cash transfer. Madam, where you're going? We'll have cash for work. We'll look after those that are not nurses and teachers, but they're citizens. We'll look after the retired. That's why this government has been able to pay retirement benefits. Going back 20 years, people who retired 20 years, many of them had no retirement benefits paid. This government has used the public resources limited to pay the retirees.
Those sworn in include Alfred Sakwia as Permanent Secretary for the Management Development Division and Chibeleka as Permanent Secretary at Cabinet Office. Dr. Max Chombe has taken over at the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, while Beatrice Chilomo will serve the Ministry of Community Development. Others include Joma Simui at the Ministry of Health, Stella Nyondo as Deputy Auditor General, and George Zulu as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary. The President concluded by encouraging the appointees to focus on delivery, transparency, and accountability. Jimmy Kanasha, Revelation News.
Government says its position on the burial of former President Edgar Lungu is anchored in public interest and national unity, not malice or political vendetta. Information and Media Minister Cornelius Muitwa, who is also chief government spokesperson, told journalists in Lusaka that the presidential burial site represents a unifying national symbol where past leaders are laid to rest with dignity. He said President Hakainde Hichilema remains committed to preserving the country's tradition of burying former heads of state at a common site, as a reflection of Zambia's identity and unity.
I would like to address the nation and update them that the processes in South Africa, that is to say, the legal process to do with the court matter in South Africa and the legal process to do with alternative dispute resolution mechanism intended to resolve the current impasse ex curia relating to the expatriation and putting to rest former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu's remains are all ongoing presently. They are both in motion. We want to indicate that from a governmental point of view, the court action was taken out as a public policy, public interest matter, which is in keeping with the People versus Secretary to the Cabinet ex parte Kaweche Kaunda case of 2021, which is a guiding law presently in Zambia as to how a former president is supposed to be buried, which is instructive in nature, that when it comes to a dispute of that nature, public interest overrides family or individual interest. That is the law presently in effect in Zambia. And it is pursuant to that law that the Attorney General instructed his lawyers, or their chambers lawyers, in South Africa to commence legal proceedings.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mwitwa also announced major decisions from the 12th Cabinet meeting held on Wednesday. Key among them is the deployment of defense and security forces to areas affected by illegal mining. Government has identified widespread illicit gold and mineral exploitation, which it says must be brought under control to protect Zambia's resources.
Cabinet approved the following. 1. Deployment of security personnel to areas infiltrated with illegal mining activities. Cabinet approved the deployment of defense and security personnel to counter illegal mining activities, where illegal mining of gold and other mineral commodities has been identified across the nation. Cabinet has observed that there is an increase in illegal mining activities in various mineral commodities such as gold, manganese, copper, sigillite, tin, and lithium, which are mainly exploited by artisanal and small-scale miners. Illegal mining has resulted in the proliferation of other illegal activities such as smuggling of minerals from Zambia, pollution of the environment, as well as the influx of foreign nationals into our country.
Cabinet has also approved the introduction of a bill to amend the Anti-Gender-Based Violence Act No. 1 of 2011. The amendment aims to strengthen the fight against GBV by clarifying legal definitions, increasing penalties for offenders, and improving enforcement mechanisms. Additionally, a Cabinet endorsed the publication and tabling of the Zambia Institute of Procurement and Supply Bill 2025 in the current sitting of Parliament. These measures, government says, are part of broader reforms aimed at enhancing law enforcement, accountability, and national cohesion. Katendi Moya. Revelation News.
The Chibombo Multi-Facility Economic Zone is igniting economic growth with a flurry of projects breathing new life into the local economy. Currently hosting 16 projects valued at over $109 million, the industrial hub is a hive of activity. More than 1,000 locals have secured permanent employment, injecting stability and prosperity into surrounding communities. One of the major players in this economic transformation is the Beta Group of companies from China. Speaking during a site visit, company president Poliway shared timelines for the company's expansion efforts.
Our second phase project will be start. And this side, next month we will start our expanding project for this factory. And October the equipment we will send from China to Zambia. And the end of this year, the equipment may be reached to Zambia.
The company is spearheading several initiatives, including the manufacturing of transformers, electrical cables, and batteries. Once equipment is fully installed, the factory is expected to operate at full annual capacity.
After commission and installation, we will start our product next year, March. This is very good news. After production start, the annual capacity of the battery will be exceed 1 million pieces battery per year. Yes, it's good news because we are confident to all Zambia people. And we love Zambia.
The Chibombo facility is a shining example of public-private partnership at work, demonstrating the powerful impact of investment, collaboration, and industrial ambition. James Chanda, Revelation News.
The WANDAF Group of companies has entered into a strategic partnership with the Ministry of Education aimed at aligning universities' training with industry needs in a move expected to boost Zambia's industrial capacity and local workforce development. The collaboration will involve three key institutions, namely University of Zambia Unza, Copperbelt University, CBU, and Mukuba University. The announcement was made during a tour of the United Capital Fertilizer Northern Plant by senior government officials and university representatives. Speaking during the visit, Acting Chief Executive Officer of WANDAF Group of Companies, Roy Mwamba, reviewed ongoing construction of a coal to ammonia and urea complex with an integrity 85 megawatt power plant that recycles emissions in line with international green energy standards.
Never be sustainable if we do not have required manpower to operate and run. As you are aware, like I indicated, that the ammonia and urea plant is the first of its kind south of the equator, meaning no one has operated this. So what we've done is that we have signed an operation and maintenance contract with the EPC contractor to operate it. But for how long will that take? And for how sustainable will that be if we do not have our local manpower to operate it? So we thought that through your ministry, we can engage with the universities, especially in the School of Chemical Engineering, so that we can create a synergy where we mirror academia and industrial activities by coming together through the memorandum of understanding that will be signed and ensure that how now do we actualize it.
And Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Education in charge of technical services, Dr. Kelvin Mambwe, praised the partnership and urged other private sector players to adopt similar models to support national development goals.
To actualize this desire to ensure that universities are collaborating with industry is commendable. And this is what we expect other companies to be doing. It shouldn't start and end with you. Other companies out there, such as Trade Kings, should come on board, Zambeef, and so on, so that we enhance the potential that our children have. We develop the skills, the competences. Right now, we are implementing the new curriculum, the competence-based curriculum, which require that our children develop certain skills competencies that are required to ensure that this country develops.
Meanwhile, representatives from 3 universities have thanked Wonderf Group of Companies and the Ministry of Education for the good gesture as it will help to develop the country.
The collaboration between industry and higher learning institutions is a game changer because for a long time now we seem to have lost that connection between universities and industry. And so I would just like to thank the wonderful group for re-establishing that collaboration between industry and university. This is going to go a long way in improving the skills of our graduates.
So for a long time, I think we saw the decline in the industrialization of this country. Many industries where chemical engineers would potentially work were closed down. So, and most of them found themselves working in mines as metallurgists. So now I think this opportunity of industrialization gives chemical engineers their rightful place where they can really thrive. And the Copperplate University. From Cuba, this will be a serious and important opportunity for us to help the university acquire laboratories as well as the manpower needed to run this program.
Mangi Nzombola, Revelation News, Chilanga.